Hello po mga kababayan, si Dante Maravillas, Bicolano vlogger, broadcast journalist from Albay. Ibigay ko sa inyo mga kababayan yung ginawang situation briefing sa ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ng mga iba-ibang agencies ng ating gobyerno in relation sa disaster response sa baha na nagdulot mga kababayan ng widespread flooding affecting thousands of families sa Luzon at saka dito sa Visayas. Buong Luzon at Visayas kasama dito sa amin sa Bicol Region. So talagang yung ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ayaw mamahinga. Kararating pa lang yung ating Pangulo galing sa Amerika para sa meeting with US President Donald Trump. Pagdating niya, dumiretso siya mga kababayan sa mga evacuation centers para inspeksyonin yung kalagayan ng ating mga evacuees. And this time, ito na naman po yung ating Pangulo. Miniting niya yung kanyang mga cabinet secretaries para siguruhin na maayos yung disaster response po. So ito siya mga kababayan, ginawa kani-kanina lang po.
Etong nandito, these came from where? They were already forward position.
Yan yung
yes,
relief
Mr. President,
operations
coming
po.
from our regional warehouses already.
Okay.
And then we haven't stopped production in the Pasay site and in the Cebu site because we want to keep on replenishing their stockpile. There are two modes of the requests coming in from local government units. There are two modes of dispatching them. Some of them we deliver, some of them they pick up. So
right.
It's a joint effort already between the national government and the local government. But what we're assuring them is we have the goods, we just need to get it to them. And the balance of unprocessed came in yesterday evening. Most of the older requests have already been dispatched with.
So the balance is how much?
Mr. President, we're looking at another close to 300,000.
300,000.
New requests are streaming in from NCR and Central Luzon. Malalaki na ho in requests because there are flooded areas in Camanava and then Pampanga and Bulacan.
All the way down to Cavite pati.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right, so how will we transport?
Mr. President, two ways. We have our own hauling services that pero
kulang yun.
but the LGUs are also helping us kasi meron talaga silang sariling capacities. Private sector like GCash has already pitched in, and then we would call OCD to deploy military or police equipment.
For transport?
Yes, sir, to get it to the LGUs.
Yeah, all right.
And then the last mile, as you know, Mr. President, the LGUs take care of.
Yeah, so LGUs talaga, well, LGUs I know already. It's just a question, maayos ang coordination ninyo ng, national government, specifically DSWD.
Kompleto, full cabinet,
relief agencies,
si Sandro Marcos.
DOH. So what we noticed was yung pinuntahan namin sa San Mateo and sa there's the congestion, so which immediately brings to mind the danger of infection that will
Parang sinisipo na yung ating Pangulo. Full cabinet meeting po ito mga kababayan. Pero sige lang.
Spread very, very quickly for one. So I'm glad to note though that each one that we went to had a health center, a clinic, and that is manned by what? How many people is that one team?
So one clinic is manned by local government municipal health officer.
Okay.
Tapos we augment them with nurses and doctors. So pag nag-request sa amin ng local government, we deploy our health human resources. We've deployed about 1,000. So I think in Metro Manila, we have about 190 na dineploy. When we visited, Rex and I visited several evacuation centers, maayos yung clinic. Yung nabisita po natin, Mr. President, you're correct. Our number one consultation is respiratory infection.
Yeah.
So tama kayo, in that particular setting, mukhang overcrowded talaga yung Santa Ana Gymnasium. We're luckier in the other evacuation centers. Families are placed in classroom. In a classroom, there are only like 4 families. So hindi ganun ka high risk. So, tama kayo, Mr. President. Nagpapadala ko doon sa regional director ko ng mga face mask, surgical mask. So at least if the kids have upper respiratory infection, ma-prevent by asking the kids with infection to wear the mask.
Again, there has to be close coordination because hindi naman lahat ng doktor at saka nurse na nagmamanong health center. Karamihan actually, we only supply, mostly we supply the medicines, whatever medical supplies. but it's distributed by the local healthcare workers at saka mga first responders. So again, there has to be good, because always, we provide some of the relief goods and some of the assistance, but in the end, it is the local government who takes the role of bringing all of those supplies, relief goods, kung ano man ang kailangan, to bring it to the last, again, we refer to it as the last mile, para lahat ng nangangailangan mabigyan ng tulong. Again, we are very familiar with the situation already. We have learned many lessons, and those lessons are now being the lessons learned are now being used to improve our delivery of assistance to everyone. Yes, all right. The last thing was the DepEd, the kids. What are we going to do with the people in some areas? 1 week na ito, and this is. What? How many is this? 3 out of the projected 15 for the rest of the year.
1 to 15.
Sir, right now we have 200.
So we have to have a plan in place.
Yes, sir.
We cannot just keep sending them home. But the problem is that many schools are evacuation centers.
Yes, sir.
So where do we bring the kids? Where do we bring the children to study?
Wala. Some are in the schools, but thankfully, DSWD has been yung mga inikutan kong schools as evacuation centers. Meron nang pinadala si SecRex ng mga relief goods, Mr. President. But of course, those need to be replenished, and I'm sure SecRex will do that over time. What we're doing now, sir, is we're making sure that we give books to the children now. That's the goal, but we're not quite there yet. But so at least they have something that they can do while they're at home, sir.
So let's make sure that our part of that will be the making sure that they get the material.
Yes, sir.
Our teachers, being the heroes that they are, I'm sure they will find clever ways, ingenious ways to continue somehow to have contact with the kids.
Yes,
so let's ask them, let's ask the teachers what do they need,
yes, sir,
so that they can somehow conduct some kind of instruction, even in the midst of all of this.
We'll do that, sir.
What's happening. I know the satellite, of course, depending on the weather, but yung sa fiber optic, do we have to shut them down for any reason?
So, Mr. President, I've been meeting with Globe, Smart, and Dito, and on the cell services, all are up and running in the areas that are affected. So they're on red alert also. So they have even if it's brown out, Mr. President, they already have diesel fuel in stock. They've also agreed to provide free call and text and some loads during the time of the affected area. So they'll make announcements within the day.
Very good.
The fiber optic received any major outage, as the report of NDRRMC, only one LGU has an affected comms line issue. So the telco naman, Mr. President, when they have coverage, the only problem I think is we need to expand the coverage. But where they have service, it's working, Mr. President.
It's working.
Yes.
What we are talking about here is mitigation, of course, flood control, all of that. That of course is the biggest thing. But then it is adaptation. This is not an extraordinary situation anymore. Do not think of it as a special situation. This is, I hate to use the overused phrase, but this is the new normal. Ganito na talaga ang buhay natin kahit ano pang gawin natin. Kaya wala tayong kailangan ang pag-iisip natin, hindi natin sinasabi, ay, baka sakaling magbagyo. Magkakabagyo talaga. At saka ganito. So paghandaan na natin, pag-isip na tayo ng mga panibagong paraan para yun, sa pag-aaral, sa paggagamot ng ating mga may sakit, tapos sa pagdala ng relief goods, sa pagdala sa all of these things. And I think that's the most important shift in thinking that we have to think. In my lifetime, bagyo is an extraordinary activity. Pagka may bagyo, siyempre, bata ka, walang pasok, yun lang. But it's not normal. It's like something unusual that it happens every once in a while. lalo na yung baha na ganito, every once in a while lang yan nangyayari. So we have to change kasi tayo, well, I don't want to drag anybody into my old generation, but tayo more or less, the way we think of it is a once in a while dadaan yung bagyo. We have to change our thinking and say, look, this is the way it's going to be as far as we know for many decades to come. So let's just prepare. Think of it in terms of this is what we have to do, because this kind of situation will continue to arise every time there is a storm, and the storms are coming. They're coming more quickly. They're becoming more strong. They are dumping more water on us. Ang consuelo de bobo natin is that pag nakikita natin ng mga ibang lugar, we see what happened in Texas, we see what happens in India, we see what happens in other places. It's really the change in climate. And we have to understand that the climate has changed. The rain patterns have changed. Memoryado na natin kailan dadating yung bagyo eh. Kaya alam na natin kung saan dadaan yung bagyo. Memoryado na natin lahat yun eh. Memoryado na natin saan magbabaha. Many, and probably even most, I go so far as to say, most of those things no longer apply. We have to think in terms of the way that what we are seeing now. Because this is not like will happen this year. This will happen again next year. This will happen again the year after that, and the year after that, etc., and so forth. So we have to think in those terms. So our solutions need to be longer term, not so ad hoc, not so, informal, but really we have to think of in terms of changing the way we approach this kind of problem. But so far, I'm satisfied that the response of government is sufficient. Well, it's never sufficient, but it is at a level that is providing a great deal of relief to everyone. We'll just have to keep doing this. We just have to keep watching the weather. And whenever our assets are allowed, if the rains slows down a little bit, the roads open up, then pasok tayo. Again, the immediate concerns, relief goods, health, and now really our schools. So yun ang isipin natin. Kasi we keep talking about improving the grades of our. If they're 3 months out of the year out of school, how kahit anong gawin mo, di ba? Dugi ka agad eh. So I feel sorry for them because they cannot get their proper education. Yes.
Sir, we made an announcement that we'll be implementing makeup classes on Saturdays, and we got severely bashed for that suggestion. But I'm standing by it, sir, because we need to do it also. I really need to do it, and it also it shifts the incentives kasi ngayon everyone is pressuring the local chief executive to suspend classes. They get bashed online. Alam ni Secretary Rex when he was mayor, he'll get so many messages, and if you don't, alam ni Governor John Vic, if you don't, diba, you will get bashed eh. Oh, tulog pa si Governor, tulog pa po si Mayor. So now we want to shift it. So they will not arbitrarily ask for that if they know they have to make it up on a Saturday, sir. Kasi ganun daw dati. That's the old policy. They were very strict that if you miss a class, you have to make it up on the Saturday. I don't know what you think about that, sir, because of course it may not be the popular decision, sir.
How can it be popular? Mahirap ang tao. And we do. I know we're doing everything that we can. The funding is there. All our assets are there. But we just have to mitigate the effects of the storms and already think very, very hard about what are the adaptation measures that we have to undertake, because this is not an unusual occurrence. It will happen again for the rest of the year. If we are anticipating 15 storms for 2025, we have had 3. Isa pa ang inaantay natin. But then, think for next year, ganito pa rin ito. it will still be the same. So let's prepare. Let's just think in those terms. What do we need to do for the next decades so that we can adapt to the new weather systems that we have.
Along when it comes to that, I'd like to commend the OCD who was working very closely with the LGUs. Our points of information were spread very evenly. Our biggest problem really, sir, was the carelessness of the people. Of the 6 deaths that occurred, 3, sir, nagiinuman sa Rizal sa tabi ng ilog na before they knew it, tinangay na sila ng 2 doon, sir. Nagpustahan yung mga bata sa Malabon kung sino kayang lumangoy to the other side of the river. Tinangay rin sila. And one of them was a kid who fell in the creek while he was playing. So it's a lot really of beyond our control already. Sila na talaga ang it's a say carelessness and lack of information maybe on our part on what they shouldn't do.
It's actually one of the pieces of information that we have to tell everyone that don't fool around with this thing because it can be very dangerous. We had the same problem in Ilocos. When the storms come, we tell people don't go in the water, but we have tourists. Pag sinasabihan sila ng mga mangingisda, wag kayong kami sanay kami diyan, kayo baka and we have casualties because of that, hindi nakikinig. But we have to make that information known to people. This is very dangerous. You must take all of these things very, very seriously. That kind of activity can lead to the casualty, either injury or death. So mag-ingat sana sila.
But regarding housing, 2,400 houses were damaged. Tuloy-tuloy po ang pag-coordinate natin sa mga LGUs para mapabilis yung assistance sa partially and totally damaged houses, no, sa mga. And at the same time, yung mga housing loan natin, nagkaroon na tayo ng moratorium, no? We will not collect for 1 month. Yung mga attached agencies natin, Socialized Housing Finance Corporation, National Home Mortgage, NHA, and Pag-ibig. And then for temporary relief, tuloy-tuloy po ang pag-distribute natin sa mga LGUs affected ng high-grade tarpaulins para temporary cover po nila. Thank you, Mr. President.
We unfortunately are familiar with how the process, how it evolves. We will come to that. Essentially, when people want to return home pag partially damaged, kailangan nilang building materials. We will provide that. I don't know if we're already at that point. Maybe in some areas, dahil sa ibang lugar nakauwi na sila, and they will be able to assess the damage, and they will ask us we can provide what they need in terms of building materials, even temporary or more permanent down the road.
Mr. President, in terms of accessibility, we have monitored actually from July 17 up to today about 46 road closures, but as of today, there are just about 10 road sections. These are not the primary roads; these are secondary and tertiary roads, Mr. President. And the good thing is the primary roads travel has not been impeded. Open po ang Maharlika Highway all the way from Cagayan all the way to Mindanao, and Manila North Road has been opened all the time. The only thing that we have closed actually temporarily again, Mr. President, is Cannon Road. Cannon Road for safety reasons, Mr. President. But we expect
slide na naman ang problema.
Mr. President. But we expect that most of the roads, the remaining roads that will be open today, Mr. President.
Okay. The weather changes. The minute magka-opening tayo, gamitin na natin kaagad, send the relief goods, send the information, all of these things. Stay connected to everybody. That's the main thing. Just everybody stay connected to each other and to everybody else, to the LGUs, to your people on the ground, on the regional level, at the provincial and municipal level as well. So we are aware of what is happening everywhere and can respond accordingly. Yeah. Is there anything else? Anything else that we need to be? Yes.
Just a reassurance, marami po tayong cash at handa po ang ating mga government financial institutions para sa pagdangailangan ng salary loan, calamity loan, pwede po tayo magbigay ng mas mababang interest.
Well, that's always good to know. There's a ready source of income. To bring, Kiko, wala tayong problema sa buffer stock.
No problem, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. President, sa
Okay.
rice, we've been supplying.
I know that
LGUs already,
our
and,
warehouses are full.
We're just monitoring agricultural commodities, and kung tumaas man in calamity areas, we can impose the price active kailangan.
Oh, sige. All right, so we have that assurance from DA na kompleto naman ang atispigas yung ayos tayo. Yes.
Mr. President, I just wanted to reiterate that the Mines and Geosciences Bureau issues a 2 to 3 day forecast based on the rain forecast on what barangays, at the barangay level, which barangays are susceptible to very high flood, moderate flood.
How do you disseminate that info?
Right now, Mr. President, it's provided to the OCD, and then it's provided to the regional offices of DNR for them to disseminate. But we're trying to improve on that. So I talked with Governor Dax Kua and the others so that we can have real-time dissemination. And this is where I think our other government agencies, if you will find them useful, we will directly, real-time, provide them to everyone rather than through different channels, like it has to go through the region and then from the region disseminated to the LGUs.
Well, that's the key. To be that granular, that's important. Yeah, we go into that much detail in terms of the forecast, because that's the kind of information that people, individuals, and their families can use. So let's keep that going. Okay. All right. Have we covered most of the things, at least, that we can? Very good. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.